Look here. I'll explain something to you. Tex took the witness stand, and this is record, and he said, I don't know whether I'm Charlie Manson or my mother. Tex didn't have his own mind one way or the other. He was balanced back and forwards because I had already took his mind in another game down the road that I was playing with some Hell's Angels that you don't know nothing about, and you probably never will know nothing about it because you would have to know those people to get in that thought, see? But there's different colors on different people's backs doing different things. It's a different world. I love the world I live in, too, just like Regan loves the world he lives in.
You love the world you live in?
Huh. Most assuredly, it's me.
You love all the pain that you've caused people, all the anguish you've caused.
I don't know pain. I don't know pain. I have no depth of pain. I have no depth of suffering. I don't know ridicule. I don't know all the bad things. I haven't been punished by you all my life since I was 10 years old. I've been in every reform school you got across the country and used to lay down and have to get my ass whipped till I couldn't walk. Tell me about some pain.
And that's our fault. That's all those people...
No fault. Make strong, good pain. Understand pain. Not bad. Pain's not bad. It's good. It teaches you things. It teaches you things. Like when you put your hand in fire, you know not to do that again. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that.
But how come you didn't
That's the reason I never stick my hand in fire.
Oh, but, excuse me, you've been putting your hand in the fire since you were a little boy.
I have?
You just told me a couple of minutes ago that out of 47 years, you've spent 34 of them behind bars. Now, if that isn't keeping putting your hand in the fire, I don't know what is.
What year was that?
The year is not important. What's important is you just say that you learn by pain not to experience again. Don't put your hand back in the fire. Why you've been in and out of prisons for the last, for 34 of your 47 years? Do you call that normal behavior, Charles? Is that something that you're proud of? I mean,
no, never. Well, I never thought I was normal. Never tried to be normal. Normal runs in a little rut down there. I don't know nothing about being normal. I've been in jail all my life, man. I've lived on a handball court. This guy raised me up. All the men in the joint raised me up, told me what to do, what was right and wrong, told me when to sit down, stand up. I just did everything I was told. You know, and I got to the end of it, and I just turned around and said, wow,
all right, now that's hard.
You know, and then I went outside, and all these little kids got a hold of me and said, we want to stop the Vietnam War, and we want to do this. What? It was a war? I don't know what's happening. I've been in jail all my life, man. I never went to vocational. You ever see me in vocational training, rehabilitation? Never played no rehabilitation. I sweep the floor in the kitchen, go out and play handball. I'm still 10 years old in your world. Your world, I'm still a kid. I'm not going to grow up. I'm not going to go to college.
How old are you in your world?
Forever. Since the breakfast. I can't remember what
I don't know what that means. Come on, off the space shuttle, Charles.
Yeah, it's off the space shuttle.
How old are you in your world?
How old am I? I'm as old as my mother told me. How's that?
Your mother. Tell me about your mother. What did your mother tell you?
My mother told me when she worked on death row and they took that dude into hanging and his head popped off and went down them 13 stairs and rolled over by her, it scared the You know, so I said, wow, that sure is a far-out trip, Moms. So then when I got up on death row in cell 13 for 9 counts of murder, 1969, and I looked at her fears, that guy's head popping off that hangman's noose, and I said to myself, my goodness, what the hell am I doing here? I didn't want to come here. I didn't break the law. Judge knew that, but the people didn't want to hear it. The judge knew it. He washed his hands. He said, I know it, but what can I do? People want this.
The judge never said that.
Yeah.
Judge never said
That's what Older said.
No, the judge didn't say that.
He got off and shook their hands, didn't he?
Judge did not say that he washed his hands.
He's a flying tiger, man, for Madam Chiang Kai-shek. I just wrote a letter.
Judge didn't say that you were innocent, Charles.
Innocent?
Let's go back to your mother.
Innocent? Wait a minute. Let's get back to that word, innocent. You're so white and pure?
Judge didn't say you were innocent.
Are you innocent?
Innocent of what?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
None of us are innocent.
Yeah, just because you're convicted in a courtroom doesn't mean you're guilty of something.
What does mean you're guilty?
When you know you're guilty.
And how do you feel about yourself? Tell me about yourself.
I feel pretty good.
Let me take you back to your mom.
Take me back to...
What else did she talk to you about besides the fellow whose head popped off?
The head popped off, yeah. She was living in the Blue Moon Cafe, and she'd hit a dude in the head with one of them bottles of Jim Beam whiskey. She tried to hustle a few dollars on the corner, but there wasn't no money. So when she jammed this whiskey bottle upside that clown's head, he went down. She took the bread, come up and got me, and we left, went to Indiana.
When you were a boy, did you love your mother?
I didn't know what that was.
Did you respect your mother? How did you feel about you? How do you feel about your mom right now? If your mother, I don't know if she's alive, Charles, or not.
Yeah, you don't, huh?
Do you?
Let's see. Alive now. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
I mean, if she could be watching this right now,
be watching this
what would you say to her, Charles?
Oh, well,
What would you say to Mom?
I'd say, you sure went through a whole lot of changes to get me as far as you did. And you did a damn good job with the help of my grandma. My grandma was a mountain girl from Kentucky, up in the mountains. And she never did drink or smoke or cuss or lie. She used to cook for the Salvation Army, and she was a human being. Good one. I go to church down there and sweep the floor for her.
Well, how were you in school? I hear that you weren't too good, but maybe I heard wrong.
Depends on which school. I did very well in reform school.
Yeah.
I did good in every place that I was ever told to do good in, as much as I was allowed to do. You know, a lot of times good for some might not be the same for others, and sometimes it kind of bumps heads. But when it does, then I just chew on my pipe and think about it, and do the best I can.
But
you dealt the hand down there in L.A. You in that press, you in that L.A. Times, you dealt the hand. You put me on Life magazine, had me convicted before I walked in the courtroom. You had what people wanted to buy. When they wanted to buy it, they didn't give a damn if they had to convict the district attorney. They'd have convicted the whole building to get that dollar bill going there. They had big bucks going there. You made 27 million, 1,000, 100 billion. I'm bumming $10, $15 from my friend here.
here's another newspaper account that you can now speak to since you haven't done it before. That on the night following the killings at the house on Cielo Drive in Los Angeles, you accompanied 4 people to a home occupied by Mr. and Mrs. Leo LaBianca.
Yeah.
That you went inside that house and you tied them up and assured them that they were not going to be hurt. That you went back outside and sent Kasabian and Krenwinkel and Watson and Atkins inside the house to kill them. True or false? Because you know something, Charles? That's what you were convicted of, among other things.
All right.
Is it true or false?
Do you deserve...
No. It's a yes or a no.
Oh, no.
But it's so simple.
No,
try
yes
it.
No.
Try it.
No. Nothing's yes or no. No. You look through your little boxes and things. You know. Look here. First, you have to see where I'm coming from.
Not on that question. There's no coming from anywhere on that question, Charles. Did you do that? Chair's getting hot, huh? Get mad, get angry, come over here and hit me if you like. But why don't you answer the question?
Hit you?
If you like.
No.
But answer the question.
I don't want to hit you. I got out of prison, and I went up in the streams, and I seen a big fat dead rat
I'm going to ask the
laying
question
in the
again,
water.
Charles.
Uh-huh.
Ask the same question again.
Same question again. Did I break the law? Is that your question?
The question was that on the night following the murders or the killings or whatever else you want to call it at the Melcher home on Cielo Drive in Los Angeles, newspaper accounts claim that you, Krenwinkel, Atkins, Kasabian, and Watson went to the home of Mr. and Mrs. LaBianca in Los Angeles. That you went inside their house, tied them up, assured them that they would not be hurt, and then went outside and sent the other
Who
four
told you
in
that?
newspaper accounts, and this is one of the things for which you were convicted in a courtroom in Los Angeles. Now here's your chance before the whole world to tell it straight once and for all. Did you do that?
Did I kill anyone?
No. Did you go in and tie up the LaBiancas that night? Very simple question.
That night.
August 10th, 1969.
That night. August the 10th.
Did you?
1969.
Why duck it? Why dodge it? Why not answer it yes or no once and for all? Put it behind you.
Did I kill anyone?
Did you tie up the LaBiancas? Atkins testified you did.
That's what Susie said?
That's what she said.
Yeah.
And you remember, you were in the courtroom when she said it.
She's written 3 books, and each time she said something different. Each time.
Did you tie him up?
Did I? Well, we came down from Abilene, and
Let's stay in Los Angeles, August 10, 1969.
there was a hole in the wall gang there.
Why don't you want to talk about it, Charles? Why don't you want to...
Because I'm an outlaw, and I go so far, and that's all you know.
And if you did...
It's like asking Jesse James.
And if, as others have written, and as others have testified, and as the media has reported, you did that,
Yeah.
and you sent your friends back in to do the deed, aren't you a coward?
My friends back in to do the terrible deed.
Doesn't that
The
make you...
wicked deed. Did we have the castle there with the vampires and the Frankenstein and the bugs and lizards dying in the deserts? Did we have the water that's dying and the whales are being killed and the seals are
Here we
dying?
go again. Lay it off on somebody else. Let's
Well,
point to all the other injustices.
I'm in the world all by myself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on this one you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay, if that's the way you see it for you.
Well, whether you like it or not, Charles, all those things that happened that August in Los Angeles are identified as the Manson killings.
Yeah,
you
that's
could-
what your
so,
history book will
So you can sit here and talk to me about the whales in Hiroshima, and you can sit and talk about the environment in the Great Lakes, and that's
Yeah.
all fine. But what it really comes down to in this particular instance is that this one is your ball game.
Yeah,
This
well,
was
if I
your-
can get some help from the doctor, then I can get my mind straightened out a little bit, and maybe I could come back and play like a human.
Well, you've never talked about this before, but I'm going to make it. I'm going to try it one more
Yeah.
time.
Uh,
Pull
no,
the cards out.
now,
I'm asking- you can see them where I'm
You
finished?
got a pistol on you?
No, sir. They wouldn't let me in here if I had a pistol. You
Yeah.
know that as well as I do. So why even ask the question? Okay.
Well, I just thought you might not like what I've done. You want to do something about it.
I don't much care for what you've done.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. How do you feel
Yeah.
about that? A lot
Well-
of people think you're a monster, Charles. How do you
Yeah,
feel?
they think you're a monster because you reflect this news media on me. Cult leader. I never had long hair before I got busted. I never had a beard before I got busted. I went to shave, and the guy said, no, you can't shave. And I said, I need a razor to shave. He said, no, you can't shave. I said, let me get a haircut. He said, no, we don't want you to change your appearance. So when you put the camera first on me, you got long hair and a beard. First time in my life I ever had long hair and a beard.
You want to shave and get a haircut? I'll shut him off or you'll get a shave and a haircut.
Am I telling him right? I'm not of this
Hey,
generation.
you want to shave and a haircut right now? I'll shut him down right now. You want to shave and a haircut?
Yeah. I was trying to explain to you, man, that a lot of they pushed off on me is not me. They said I had a great family and I was a following and leaders and all that. It was a following. It was a bunch of kids out the ranch playing.
Playing at what?
Playing and living.
The accounts say that you gave him dope. I'm just saying what the accounts say. I'm not saying I know it to be so, so here's your chance to say it wasn't true, okay? That there was a lot of hanky-panky, that you turned the girls on with dope and sex out there.
That's what they said.
All right, that's what they said. Well, are they wrong?
Oh, well, I went down to Haight-Ashbury and a little kid 10 years old come up and said, you want an acid pill? I said, what's that? He said, this is good. Make colors go. I said, no, I heard about them things. I don't want none of that. And then another little kid was rolling a joint. And they were sitting there smoking a joint and asked me if I wanted one.
What you said?
I said, well, I used to smoke this stuff in the 60s, but never in the 50s. But it really wasn't that, you know, it was funny, but it's not.
How much dope did you use in your lifetime? Were you a heavy user of dope?
No, I smoked a little grass, and I've taken some acid, mescaline, psilocybin, peyote, mushroom. But actually take dope, no, nothing. I wouldn't take anything that I feel would hurt me.
Do you feel that those things that you just mentioned hurt you at all, Charles?
Physically or spiritually?
Mentally.
And then on what level? On the level of society, the way you view the norm?
No. Stop the hogwash. Do you feel that the drugs that you did use in your earlier lifetime confused you, altered your mind, juggled it, scrambled it, made you see things differently? Stay on that level if you can.
Maybe I find a spirit of caveman think through brain.
Let me try it again. Do you think the drugs you used hurt you?
Drugs hurt me. No, I don't think the drugs have hurt me. If I overdone it, I think it would.
You don't want to be anybody's leader, do you?
No.
Never did want to be anybody's
No.
leader?
Don't like attention.
Then why do you...
Most insecure people need attention. I
was just going to say, then, if you don't want attention, why all your life have you kept waving your arms saying, hey, look at me?
That's what I've been doing all my life.
Well, I would have to say that a young man...
Let's see if I got that documented.
...who by the time he's 20 years old has been in and out of jails and reform schools for a variety of offenses that include wife-beating,
Wife beating, now that's... Never whipped my old lady.
Didn't you?
No, I punched my mother out once.
Oh, you did? All right, well, we'll call it mother beating. Forging
But
checks.
she was wrong, and she lied to me and beat me for my money, and she didn't do right.
Forging checks, car theft. I mean, these are ways of waving your arms and saying, look at me, give me some attention.
Yeah.
Yet you say you don't want any attention. Now, Charles, that's a contradiction.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, over a period of about 20 years, I imagine you'd want to change something. I'm not very wise to many things, but I am wise to one thing, you know.
What's that?
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. You punched your mother. Did you hate your mother?
No, I love her. She's a good girl.
What about your wife? You were married once, weren't you?
Yeah.
How'd that go? Why'd you want to get married? That's kind of conventional. That's kind of normal. That's kind of in the rut, as you say. You get married, isn't it?
Get in. That's why I got married.
Married for sex was the reason you got married.
Yeah, that's what I didn't know what was happening. I knew there was something happening, but no one would tell me, so I had to find out. You know, I didn't have books like you guys, Playboys and stuff in them days. I had to find out for myself.
Why do you think us guys are all Playboys?
Oh, man, I didn't say you were Playboy. I was talking about Playboy magazine type thought, man.
Okay. You had a son by that marriage, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a kid somewhere.
Do you think about him?
Not about as much as my father did me.
So two wrongs make a right in Charles.
No, I didn't say there's anything wrong with the way my dad's been taking care of me. He lets me live. I'm alive.
I remember you saying, or being quoted in the courtroom in Los Angeles, as saying, the children who came at you with knives are your children.
Yeah, I didn't raise them. You raised them.
You are the ones who kicked them out. You are responsible for what they've done.
That's right. Just as much as I am.
So you, in my mind, were criticizing society for kicking their children out. And yet I've just seen you sit here and say, yeah, I got a kid somewhere.
Yeah.
How can you criticize other people for kicking their kids out, and you did the same thing?
Difference, many levels, difference. See, my old lady left me and run off with a truck driver. She said, let's steal a car and go to California. And I said, man, I ain't going to steal a car and go to California and go back to jail. She says, we won't get caught. Well, we didn't get caught. Just I got caught. She didn't get caught. So then she had a kid, and then some truck driver came along, and I was a green kid, and I didn't know what I was doing. You know, so she said, you know, I got a ride from you. I'll see you later. She took off and got married to somebody else. You know, she's a good girl.
And besides the son that you had in your marriage, you've got, what, 4 other children somewhere?
I don't think I've been responsible for as much as you people want to lay on me.
Well, how many children do you have, Charles?
How many children do I have? I don't know. I have lots of children, man. In fact, sometimes I even think you're a child.
But you just said you don't have any children, you don't have any family in the context of the ranch. I'm talking about children that are your natural children.
Children that are my natural ego?
No, children.
Oh, children? I would divide one child from the other and say...
All right, somewhere out there, somewhere, there's at least one son that we know of that's your child, who's probably about 25 or 26 years old right now.
Right?
Yeah. Look in that camera. What do you say to that kid? What do you say to your son out there? He's watching his old man on television. Maybe the first time he's ever seen his old man, with his face all carved up and his eyes glowering. You talk to that kid. What are you going to say to him?
You gotta catch it on your own, boy. Train's hard. The road's rough.
And that's it.
That's all I knew. That's all anyone ever told me.
All right.
And you want to hear something?
Yeah?
He'll do it better than me.
Do what?
Whatever he does. He'll do it a little better. Kids do, don't they?
Sometimes.
Yeah. That's what makes them such a gas. They always seem to get through.
There was a story about a celebrity hit.
Was you ever a kid once?
Absolutely. Still am in many ways, but not your way.
Oh, my way? I don't know what my way is. Everybody keeps telling me I got all these things. I read the other day where I had magical powers, and I told everybody in the chapel, I said, zap, 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 zap. I said, where's my magical powers? Well, you can't read, you can't believe what you read in the press. I ain't got no magical powers, mystical trips, and all that kind of crap. Yeah, it's kind of silly. Yeah, I'm getting witches and devils, and one guy come up and said, I heard you said you were Jesus. I said, no, man, I ain't said that. He said, I'm glad. He said, I'm damn glad. I said, why? He said, I know you ain't him. I said, how do you know? He said, because I am. I said, okay. But I mean, you know, I've been in the nut ward for 10 years, so you can't expect me to rationally take this thing serious.
Don't you think you belong in the nut ward?
Well, it's all right. I could.
I mean, but don't you belong there?
I belong where I'm allowed to go, man. Like, you know, I belong.
Let me nail down one other real simple one. Listen to how simple this is, Charles. There was a story in the media back when the trial was going on that Charles Manson had a celebrity hit list. I don't know who was on it. Maybe there never was such a list, but was there a list of people, famous people, that you thought about harassing, bothering?
If I wanted to harass them, I just wouldn't watch their TV show.